Hello, hi. Let us see the second genus in brown algae, that is FUCUS. We have already seen the life cycle of Ectocarpus in detail in our previous sessions. Coming to FUCUS, FUCUS is a genus of brown algae which are mostly seen throughout the world in the intertidal zone of rocky seashores. That means it's predominantly a marine algae. It is a large multicellular algae. So here you can see that it is just like a vascular plant, normal plant type, right? That is most common in relatively cool waters, intertidal zones and shallow waters. Okay, its body is typically multicellular, which is divided into different regions. One is a hold fast, okay, which is for attaching to the rocky substratum. Then blade shaped stem, okay, this is called a front, okay, and it is dichotomously branched. You can see that this particular stem will be helping in doing photosynthesis. Though it is called a brown algae, you can see that its color is somewhat olive green type, okay, and you can see a predominant midrib through the thallus structure, and you can see that this area is a little bit swollen, right? These are called air bladders. These are present in some species on either side of the midrib. This will be containing gas. This is a gas filled cavity, and it is also called pneumatocyst or air vesicles. This will be helping the particular thallus structure to stay erect in the water column. Okay. Now coming to these swollen structures which are found on the terminal side of the stem or the branch, in that you can see that these are called receptacles. Within these receptacles there will be the presence of sex organs. And one more thing you have to remember, this is the only plant type that you can see in FUCUS. Okay, this represents the sporophytic generation, and the gametophytic generation will be very small in terms of the size of gametes only. So the only thallus structure that you will be seeing in FUCUS is this one, sporophytic thallus. Now coming to the upcoming slides. So this is the real image of FUCUS. This is a macroscopic multicellular algae which is having dichotomous branching with a midrib in the center and presence of air bladders on either side of the midrib. Then we have already seen the swollen structure. See, this is the swollen receptacle which is present at the tip of the branches, that will be having cavities for holding the sex organs. So this is the particular branch or thallus which is called front. Okay, this is called front, and these are having air bladders on either sides with a predominant midrib. There is a holdfast for attachment to the substratum. So this is the thing, and in these receptacles there will be small cavities. This is the cavity, this is the one particular cavity, and within this cavity you can see that globose shaped bodies. These are called conceptacles. Okay, these conceptacles will be having the reproductive structures, antheridium and oogonium. Okay, there may be, this particular FUCUS may be either monoecious or dioecious, that is homothallic or heterothallic in terms of containing the sexual organs. That is, in some species, like in common species like vesiculosus, FUCUS vesiculosus, in that the particular sex organs are found in the same thallus. Okay, that is, it is found, the male and female will be found in the same thallus. I'll show you one image. Okay, you can see that actually this particular thalli, imagine this is the thallus, and in one receptacle you can see the male conceptuculum, okay, within which you can see antheridia. These spherical bodies are called antheridia, and in another receptacle within the same thalli you can see this particular female reproductive organ bearing structure called like conceptuculum, which is bearing the female reproductive organ. Okay, both can be called as conceptuculum, though it is represented as receptaculum here. Normally different textbooks represent it differently. Some say that because it is receiving the male gamete, because of that it is called receptaculum, but you need not represent it like that. You can represent both these globose structures, whether it is holding male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ, you can call it as conceptuculum. and these will be found within the cavities present in these particular swollen bodies called receptacles. Now coming to the reproduction, we have already seen that the male gamete is born by a body called a concepticulum. This is considered, this is a concepticulum. This is present within these particular receptacles. There is a cavity for holding it. This cavity is called concepticulum. This is a globose shaped cavity. Within that you can see that branched filaments which are arising, at the tip of which you can see that there is a spherical or ovoid body in the initial stages. Then this particular ovoid body is called the antheridia, within which there will be the formation of male gametes. Okay, so if I am zooming in this particular area, this is the structure. You can see this branched filament, at the tip of which you can see that this particular male gamete bearing structure called antheridia is present. Okay, now in the another receptacle of the same thallus, for example in FUCUS vesiculosus species, we can see that both this particular male and female concepticulum is found on the same thallus. So in another receptaculum even in the same receptaculum, you can see that within the same receptacle itself, you can see in a different cavity the female concepticulum. Okay, and you can see that both male and female reproductive organs are found among multicellular unbranched hairy filaments called paraphyses. Okay, if this particular paraphysis is coming outside of the ostiole or the spore and it is seen as cottony tufts, then this is called periphysis. Okay, now coming to the reproductive body called oogonia. Okay, within the female concepticulum you can see that a small tiny outgrowth from the walls of the concepticulum will happen, and then this outgrowth will be dividing transversely into two cells. One particular cell will be forming the stalk, this stalk, and the second cell will be forming an upper cell. This upper cell will be developing into an oogonia. Okay, if I am zooming in, this is the oogonia. Okay, so we have discussed about the antheridium and oogonium. Now see how the reproduction happens. In a particular FUCUS genus, only reproductive modes are sexual reproduction or vegetative reproduction. There is no asexual reproduction happening in FUCUS. That point you have to remember. And sexual reproduction is the most common mode of reproduction. Like asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction happens through just fragmentation. For example, a fragment got cut from here, and this particular area which got fallen, that will be regenerating into a new sporophytic thallus. Now coming to the sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, you know that in this particular antheridium, all cells are diploid, because this particular sporophyte is containing these reproductive organs. Since the sporophyte is a diploid thallus, all cells within this originating from this sporophyte will be diploid. So definitely the antheridium will be diploid, but it is uninucleate. Even the oogonium is uninucleate. You can see a single nucleus within. So this particular nucleus of one particular antheridium will be undergoing meiotic division. So after meiosis, we know that four haploid nucleus will be formed, and those particular haploid nucleus will be again dividing mitotically, and it will be forming maybe around 64 cells of 64 haploid cells. Then these particular cells will be metamorphosing into male gametes by bearing two flagella, and you have to remember that these flagella are not alike. Okay, one flagella will be elongated and other will be small. It is not represented properly in this figure. Okay, then these male gametes will be released, and in the oogonium also similar things will happen, and this particular uninucleate structure, that will be dividing meiotically into four haploid nuclei. Then that will be again dividing mitotically to form around 8 egg cells, and these egg cells will be metamorphosing into eggs. You can see that eggs. So male gametes and eggs got released. Now these many male gametes will come around an egg. Only one will be fusing. Then a diploid zygote will be formed. This diploid zygote directly forms an embryo, and it will be directly forming a sporophytic thallus, the same thallus. And it is not like it is undergoing any meiosis or nothing will happen. this particular nuclei will be like converting, this particular zygote will be forming an embryo, and this embryo will be generating into a sporophytic diploid thallus. So this is all about the sexual reproduction in FUCUS. You can see that this is a very easy to make figure, and even these reproductive structures are easy to make. You can make this within no time. So after this, I have attached many slides of notes. You can pause the video and write everything I have already explained. You have to begin the answer by writing about the systematic position. Phylum Ochrophyta. Okay, it's a different phylum, Ochrophyta. Class Phaeophyci, order Fucalis, family Fucaceae, and genus FUCUS. Within that, FUCUS vesiculosus type of species are also found. So you can again pause the video and write the notes if you want. Again, reproduction in FUCUS notes, I have written it very detailed, in a very detailed way. You can pause the video and write it. Again, this one. So finally, about the oogonia and the daughter nuclear development, you just pause the video and write the note. Yeah, similarly, what will happen? 8 eggs escape from the outer wall of the oogonium, and that will be fusing with the male gametes, and fertilization will be happening. And you have to understand that this fertilization is happening outside the body, right? Both eggs are released into the water, then male gametes are also released into the water. It's not like the fertilization happening within the oogonium. No, both like eggs and male gametes are released into outside. Okay, even in ectocarpus we saw like this. So this zygote will be formed, and this zygote will not be acting like a resting spore to overcome some adverse condition. No, nothing like that. This zygote directly germinates into a new sporophytic plant. Now coming to the alternation of generation of FUCUS. If some questions are asked, then you have to understand that there is no such alternation of generation in FUCUS, because only thallus structure that we see is a sporophytic body. The plant body is a sporophyte and it is diploid. Okay, but there is a unique difference. This sporophytic body is bearing the sex organs, that is Antheridia and Oogonia. Normally in other algae we see that this gametophyte will be releasing the gametes. Here the sporophyte will be releasing the gametes from the Antheridia and Oogonia, and these particular gametes are the gametophytic generation. You know that it is so small, right? Male gamete, the sperm, and female gamete, that is egg. These are released from the sex organs that is present in the sporophytic body. So this very small, ultra small male and female gametes represents the gametophytic generation. So we can see that only the sporophytic generation is a visible thallus. So only that represents the plant body, and there is no alternation of generation as such is observed in this particular generation of FUCUS. So this is all about the FUCUS. I hope I have paused in each of the slides so that you can also pause and take down the notes if you want. So remember that this is a very easy to reproduce diagram and easy to write about this particular like thallus structure and other features of FUCUS. So with this we are completing FUCUS in all respects. We have discussed about its salient features, habitat, and vegetative and sexual reproduction. So try writing the notes and make easy to reproduce figures like this. So with this we wind up FUCUS, and the only remaining genus within the brown algae is Laminaria, which we will see very soon. After that we will be seeing the red alga or Rhodophyceae, that is Polysiphonia. That's also an important genera. With that we will be completing all the life cycles of algae, and after that we will be seeing some general questions like a range of life cycles in algae and reserve food and pigmentation. Such questions also we will discuss in different sessions. Till then, bye. Thank you.